You're listening to Tavern Sports Radio Network.
Show me the money! Show me the money!
Welcome to Show Me the Money, brought to you by Tavern Sports. We are not a man down now, but we're having to steer the ship a little differently. Boss man got a job, can't really be associated too much now, but we got to survive and move on. So you get the rest of us here tonight to try and conquer that battle.
Most of us.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've had a full bar, and we need to remedy the situation.
I mean, we got guys on night shift. We got guys trying to get back into school. Stuff out here for a pimp, but we're making do. We'll get by.
You guys
Better yourself.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But MLB first pitch today, guys.
Shit.
It's a new season. I don't like saying so yet. I won't really be a fan of MLB until 4th of July weekend.
What a great weekend.
Yeah. That's just me because like March Madness is still here and everything. NBA, NHL.
NFL draft still has to happen.
Yeah, there's so many other things.
Until after the draft, I really just don't care much about baseball. And then once the time like training camp comes around, baseball's off again. Like it's sad, you know, everyone likes to call it America's pastime. It's, you know, kind of becoming a filler sport as much as I still enjoy watching it. It's just, you know, the Bally's sports I don't know what you want to call it. Not
Monopoly.
Yeah, monopoly. Thank you. That's the exact word I was looking for. You know, it's impossible to watch, and if you want to watch, it costs $1 million trillion, and I just don't have it.
You know what? You know what season it is, boys? It's still fucking football season in my brain.
It's
I
been
can't
tough
move
out
on
here.
until the draft. Until then, QB1, we're good.
Well, okay, Cole, you're back. So let's talk a little football. I mean, because we're gonna get through basketball pretty quick. Cole, you weren't here last week. How do you feel about the Bears cutting Eddie and Kyle, and not Kyle, Cody Whitehair?
Turnover, new leaf. 16 was a long time, or 18 was a long time ago. It's over. We got a new team. We're fine.
I agree.
QB1.
I don't disagree with you.
I don't want Caleb Williams, but
Me either.
But there's not much going on in the football world. We hired a woman coach, which is pretty cool.
First one for the Bears ever.
Yeah.
She came from the commies, I think.
Yeah, I think so. But I would personally like to get into a little bit of baseball right now.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, we'll talk some baseball. So what? The Dodgers.
What are the odds
won
right
today.
now? Do you guys know the odds currently?
I can grab them real fast.
World Series favorite odds. Is that what you're talking about?
Yep. That Dodgers is going to look hot because it's going to go negative money. I'm telling you that right now. Plus 375 right now.
Yeah, I mean,
they looked good.
14 to Cole says look good. They won 14-1 today in the first spring training action against the Padres. Notably, all runs coming in 2 innings. They had 8 in the first and 6 in the sixth.
Brutal.
Yeah, a shellacking, as the kids say.
I mean,
I've never heard that word.
My thing is, okay, everybody knows, unless Armageddon happens, the Dodgers are making the playoffs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So if you want to be a sensible look-ahead gambler who has maybe a little extra money, tax return time, good fat paycheck, maybe you worked a couple of days overtime, go and slap a good amount on the Dodgers right now at plus 375. And when August comes, you cash that out before the playoffs even start, because when the playoffs start and they're there, they'll be plus 120, minus maybe negative odds. Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if they were negative odds by the time the playoffs start.
Yeah. So I mean, if you are an equitable gambler and you don't care about oh, well, they do look good. Like, I could, get this full payout. Go in and place a big bet on them now, cash it out for whatever, and then you're saved that money essentially for football
If you
season when it
can.
rolls back around. If you can cash it out, I would assume most books would allow you to, because they don't want to lose the extra money. They'll pay you out, let's just for round numbers sake, you put 100 on it. Playoff start, you might be able to cash out 150, 160 for them just going through the regular season. You never know, but it's a chance. And if not, hey, you're holding a ticket for the preseason favorite, a team that's always making a run. As long as they don't get blown out by the goddamn Diamondbacks again, on some whim, you should be fine there.
Well, and Tyler, using that logic, what do you think about the Orioles at plus 1,200? I think this is going to be a pretty tough division this year, but they made it in last year. They were the youngest team in baseball. Plus 1,200, I mean, the Yankees are on the up and up, but there's wild card slots too. All they got to do is make it, and you think you'd get at least some kind of a cash out.
I mean, okay, you're division champ, and then you go and make some good off-season moves. When was the last time you seen the Orioles even on the top page of the leaderboard for preseason favorites? You know what I mean?
Probably back when Davis was slinging.
They're clearly making moves and doing well. But the AL, it goes through the Astros. Like, as much as you want to say it doesn't, it does. And the Orioles, they had a quick exit last year. I mean, they were kind of the Cinderella team. They were young. They made a good push. But you could feasibly say take them and cash out as long as things keep trending up and to the right, like I think we're all expecting them to. But I would say right now the Astros at plus 800, like we said, that they're going to get there, and we should be able to cash that out later. You know what I mean? That's just my thinking for this. I won't actually probably place anything too major just because I'm a broke ass college student. That is my job. So if you have the pocket change, if you are smart and sensible and can hold a ticket for that long, you take 100, throw it on the Dodgers, 100 on the Astros. You cash that money out when the playoffs come for whatever it is. It's going to be some sort of a profit. Hey, boom, you just made FanDuel or DraftKings your savings account for the summer, and you didn't blow that money betting on mindless June 16th games. And now you have that money in your account for something else in the fall, when sports betting to us is more exciting with college football and NFL football.
Yeah, Tyler, you're saying, place these bets to win the World Series, cash out when they make the playoffs. Just kind of a contrast, like if that's your grand plan, the Dodgers are plus 375, as we already said, to win the World Series, but they're minus 6,000 to make the playoffs. So, even the sports book thinks it's a pretty good lock for them to make the playoffs. Same with the Astros; they're minus 430. I mentioned the Orioles; they're minus 192. So, some of these teams with long odds to win the World Series have pretty low odds or have pretty short odds rather to make the playoffs.
Exactly. And I would never tell somebody go out there and put $6,000 on the Dodgers to win 100 come August, right?
No, never.
But if you got, since we're just talking big numbers, you got 6,000 to place, put 1,000 of it on the Dodgers to win the World Series, and it's gonna be a cash out for higher come playoff time, because the books have exposure, and that's the last thing they want. They don't want exposure there. So that's what I'm saying is, if you don't want to sweat, where, hey, comes that time, you're like, damn, the Dodgers are the Dodgers. They're a buzzsaw right now. You hedge. You just hedge every round and hold on to that ticket. You know what I mean? That's another option depending on how the team looks. But if they're
careful with arbitrage betting, careful with the arbitrage.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot to think about. Other notable odds, the Braves, plus 500 to come out of the NL. Astros, like we said, 800, Yankees at 1,000, Orioles 1,200. The Rangers plus 1,400. How do y'all feel about the defending champs being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the list?
Dude, why? Why?
Again, I think because
that
last
is
year,
so high.
I think last year was kind of, I don't want to say a fluke, but I'm saying, we all know how hard it is to go in and win back to back in any sport, let alone baseball, where you have 162 games for your star to tear their ACL or UCL, need Tommy John, whatever.
Arm, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many chances for misfortune. Josh, you had it pulled up just a second ago. What are the Rangers to make the playoffs right now?
To make the playoffs. Sorry, I went back to the World Series because our list's a little off, but it's close enough. The Rangers, sorry,
Yeah, to make the playoffs.
188 minus.
So I mean, they think they're going to find their way into the dance, but longer odds to win it. I mean, I personally think them being at plus 1,400 is suitable. I think that's okay.
Does anybody have any interest in the Moneyball A's? Because just to make the playoffs, just to squeak in, plus 8,000.
What are the Cubs?
Sounds like a $1 do bet. Because what if?
Josh, what are the Cubs at to make the playoffs? Cole asked.
The Cubs, the old scrubby duggies, plus 100. Even money.
I mean,
bad.
Cardinals
That's
are
higher. That's higher. That's no low. I mean, it's lower than I thought it would be. But
Red Sox, the Hard Knocks team, they're plus 285.
I don't know how much Netflix has a poll over that as well as.
Hold on, timeout. Hot bet of the episode. Hot bet of the episode. The defending NL champions, Arizona Diamondbacks, who had a pretty good offseason, plus 118 to make the playoffs.
Could be worth looking at. Josh, you mentioned them, so we have to swing back to them. While you have the book open, please pull up the Oakland Athletics win total. I believe I saw it at 56.5 as the over-under, which is the lowest all time in the sports gambling era.
It is. They must be getting murdered on it because it's up to 58.5. And you said 56, correct?
56.5.
But
was
if you
on
even taking
book.
the over, you're still even money on the over for that.
Yeah, I mean, the green book was the one who I saw publishing and posting that they had it.
I am
at
on blue.
56.5.
I'm on blue for the record.
Yeah. I know. But 56.5 is fucking abysmal. Abysmal. Yeah. That's embarrassing.
I mean, when was the last time we saw a team win that few of games? All time, the least wins ever was by the Cleveland Spiders in 1899 to win 20. The least in this,
but they weren't playing 162.
The least since what's that? 140. That's just shy of 162. It's like the Philadelphia Athletics. Hey, in 1916 they won 36 games.
Yeah, that's
20. So the 2018 Baltimore Orioles, the 2019 Detroit Tigers, are the only two this century with less than 50. It looks like.
So there have been worse teams than the book is saying. They just not when the betting markets were this big. That's insane. 56 is just like. You would like to say take the over, but right now, sitting here, I can't tell you a player on the Athletics roster. Is that on me being a negligent
they win last year?
Fan? I would have to think it'd be around that 56 number.
I'm looking at it right now. Under.
What'd they win last year?
Right at 50. 50 and 112 for a for a 0.309 win percentage.
That's tough.
And that's why they're going to Vegas, baby.
They were just as shit at home as they were on the road.
Well, Cole,
didn't they have like a 2 or 3 game win streak in there too when the fans were boycotting or something, or reverse boycotting?
they had more than a 2 or a 3 game win streak. They went on a massive streak while the fans were reverse boycotting. Yeah.
And that's an all-timer, by the way, from the fans. Like, I love that.
Oh,
A reverse boycott is huge.
Yeah.
all-time guy move.
You weren't here when we talked about the A's are having some trouble in their move to Vegas, so we'll have to stay tuned on that.
We talked about their longest win streak. Their longest win streak was 7 games. That is 14% of their wins on the total season. Do you guys have a guess at their run differential for the season?
Minus 211. Minus 211.
Let's try minus 339, boys.
Holy shit. Okay, that makes sense.
And believe it or not, they went positive in 1 month.
Oof.
They went +1 in the month of March, where they played exactly 1 game.
That's ridiculous.
They only went -4 in October, where they played 1 game.
Getting farther into the MLB talk, the jersey debacle. Fanatics comes out with the new jerseys.
So bad, dude. It's awful.
The cost is 150% higher than what it once was, going from 130-ish to 175, 180-ish now. Recycled materials, they're supposed to be more breathable, but the numbers are not centered. The names on the back, not centered, curved too much. MLB logo moved down the neckline a little bit. Totally ruins Javier Baez's tattoo. He's going to have to go get another one 3 inches lower. But it's just like, how do you fuck up something that was going so great? In the way that technology is now, like, you should be able to make a breathable, more lightweight jersey, because anybody who knows, if you go to a mid-June, early July baseball game and it's a 120 first pitch and you're sitting there in a full authentic jersey, you are going to sweat your dick off. Like,
that's baseball.
I've left my ass cheeks on plenty of stadium seats. The bleachers of Wrigley have had my ass sweat on them. Yeah. So, I mean, it's part of it, but like, you should be able to make the jerseys more breathable without ruining the quality of them. I think
being made by tiny hands.
Well, let's not bring foreign labor up. We're not the show for that, but
foreign child labor.
Oh, right. So anyway, back to the jerseys, though. The players are complaining. The pants are see-through. The season has started, like we've talked about. First pitch has already happened for the season. They need to get this shit straightened out in a hurry, and I'm sure they will.
Well, we say the season started. It's the first game of spring training.
I have a feeling it'll go back before actual opening day.
I think so too. Real games that matter start in a month. I mean, in our lifetime, Cole, they changed the NBA ball that one time, and people started breaking their fingers and shooting.
Yeah, you saw that fucking ended up.
Yeah, it didn't even stick around till the end of the season, and they switched it like mid-season or something like that. So
it wasn't even. It was earlier than that.
Yeah. So.
Well, do you see? I mean, never mind. That's completely off topic. Never mind.
I don't know. I mean, I'm interested to see what the sales look like, because
I guarantee they're up.
Like, I would love sales data, because they look awful and they're more expensive. I went to one game last year. I went to one baseball game last year.
They make a single game.
And I went down to the team shop to buy a jersey of one of my favorite players of all time. And I saw the $150 price tag. I was like, yeah, I think I'll be okay. Now you're going to give me a shit quality jersey with bad number placement, bad name placement, shit material, and you're going to tell me it's 180?
This is Fanatics' first year with the players' jerseys, the fan jerseys. It's coming over from Nike. Nike kind of dropping the ball on Fanatics late, it seems, and Fanatics just doesn't have, the foresight and the quality control to get these out in mass quantities, it seems. So they're struggling there. But you would like to think with more experience of them doing it, they will figure it out. So the product on the field has to be perfect, or they won't have a job anymore. Fanatics won't be in line to do it. So
I
they're
think
gonna
they'll
have to get
probably
that
move away
straightened
from
out.
that recycled material. I think that's the issue. That's probably hard as fuck to press onto.
Yeah, I mean, because in order for it to be recycled, I mean, it's got to be some kind of polymer, and polymers melt under heat.
Yeah.
So, I just don't know. I mean, you're gonna ask people to spend $180 on essentially like a piece of plastic, and it feels really bad with all the price gouging that there is now in every assets of sports, from tickets to food to drinks to any. I mean, fuck, Tyler, we went to a Bears game and for 4 beers it cost me $50. Like,
Yeah, I mean, you would think they're obviously the prices are only ever going to go up. Their prices will never come down because jersey sales will still be a thing. It's just it makes it harder on the average Joe to take his family out and be like, "Oh, my son wants a jersey." Like, I'm sure a youth jersey at this point's creeping up over $75.
60, $70.
well, and I'd
gonna,
hate to see the jerseys too, the shirt jerseys. I mean, that used to be the affordable way, you know. Oh, we ain't got $100 laying around for Junior, but we got 40. We can go get Junior a Derek Lee shirt or an
Junior.
Albert Pujols.
Hey, my ass had that Alfonso Soriano.
So did I, Ty. So did I.
Let's go.
Got the fucking
Alfonso Soriano,
jerseys,
a
man.
fucking dog.
Yeah, how many rings does Alfonso got? Because Big
Shut
Al's
the
got
fuck up.
2.
I don't think it fucking
Anyway.
matters. The Cubs have not signed their fucking one guy that needs to come back in fucking Cody Bellinger. What the fuck are we doing, Tyler? Why?
I mean, Ricketts thinks that he lives in poverty in the Section 8 of South Side of Chicago and
Dude.
not the owner of the Chicago Cubs, one of the biggest sports brands in all of the world. Like,
team's
they're the
worth
lovable losers.
$1.1 billion.
Yeah, and I think he thinks going through another 108 years of hell and pain are going to make him more money somehow, which
Yeah.
won't. But
he had said in winter meetings, he's like, we're in like the 4th or 5th inning when you compare it to baseball in free agency signings. Since then, nothing. We signed one guy.
I mean, it's
a minor
not
league deal at that.
Well, I
It's
mean,
not-
you guys are going on about the Cubs. It's not even just the Cubs. I mean, guys aren't getting signed anywhere. You know, we said it today. Games started today. The season started today. Blake Snell's not on a team. Jordan Montgomery is not on a team. You guys mentioned Cody Bellinger already. Matt Chapman is not on a team. And I don't know if it's one of these, like, I've seen a TikTok, some guys that know way more than any of us other than maybe Ethan know, talking about how the Yankees are done playing ball against themselves.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know. It's just, we'll see what happens.
All right, boys. Let's transition into college hoops. We
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
We spent a little too much time on baseball, but I think it's
We'll
safe
cut
to
some of
say we're excited. We're excited for it to be back.
Some of it.
We're college hoops this week. Again, we don't have any lines right now. And we don't.
Can we harp on that for 1 second? They have no issue. Sportsbooks have no issue predicting college football games 3 months ahead of time, 2 months ahead of time,
different.
a month ahead of
Basketball's
time.
a little different.
But you won't predict something that's 36 hours from tip.
Basketball's
Come
a little
on.
different. There's
It's
games
not
that need to
36 hours. 36 hours, Cole. It's a little different.
It's one of those things that it changes daily. A team can get knocked off. A player can roll an ankle. Like, it's hard. I could see that there would be a lot of line movement. Okay. So all of our weekend games here, guys, it is a loaded Saturday.
Oh, it's going to be a good Saturday of fucking college basketball.
We'll start with our hometown favorites, the Hawks, going into Illinois, and Illinois.
Say it again?
Go ahead and say it the way you want me to say it then.
Illinois?
Okay. Illinois.
Going to Illinois.
Going into Champaign.
Fuck you.
The going into this game in Champaign, Iowa, coming off a win at Michigan State, Iowa's trying to fight to be a bubble team here. Illinois,
They don't look bad.
Iowa they're scoring a lot. They're kind of faster pace than we've seen them in the past, but we're young. Fran McCaffrey's not on a hot seat. He got asked in a recent interview if he's retiring, and he was like, no, not like it's not even been thrown around. It's not even been mentioned. So I think Iowa's just kind of in one of those years, but they are still fighting to be one of those last few teams in a good end of the season. A good Big Ten tournament could get them there. But even with that being said, I don't think Iowa would make it out of the round of 64, much like last year. Even if they somehow did, they would make it out of the round of 32. Illinois, on the other hand, as Cole wants me to pronounce them, they are ranked 15th in the D1 men's basketball top 16 committee ranking that just recently came out. That was through the games on February 16th.
So they'd be a low 4 seed.
Yes, but since that time, things have changed. But again, they're going to be a quality team in the tournament. If they go into the Big Ten tournament, beat Purdue, there's a chance they move up higher. Anything can happen, especially in the Big Ten tournament. We've seen Iowa run through it as of last year. Iowa went on a crazy run in it to make it in. You never know what's going to happen. Without lines, this is kind of hard to sit here and him and haw about. I lean towards Illinois getting the win here and probably the cover. Unfortunately, I'm thinking this is going to be closer to double digits as a line, but I would like to see the Hawks stand up and fight for one here. We just knocked off Michigan State.
Bad.
Michigan State's not as good of a team as Illinois, but there's a chance. You know, we went into a tough barn in East Lansing with Izzo still on the bench coaching, and got a win there. And it was a comeback win. We came from behind there. So anything could happen here. It is Illinois is not safe. They are one of those top 15 teams that has just been beat all year long.
Well, speaking of that, Illinois last night, so Wednesday night, they just lost to Penn State.
Brutal.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a 1-point loss, but Penn State's not Penn State in basketball. I mean, you don't lose to Penn State in basketball, not if you're a good team. They also just recently lost to Michigan State 2 weeks ago.
I knew it. Yeah, like I said, though, the shitty part for the Hawks here, coming off of a pretty big high of beating Michigan State, Illinois coming off of the floor, losing to Penn State. Illinois is going to have to come back.
Iowa also lost to Penn State 2 weeks ago.
I mean, like we said, though, Iowa's in a position where if they lose to Penn State, we're like, yeah, but Illinois can't, they shouldn't anyway. Illinois is going to be a tournament team regardless of what happens the rest of the season. It's just the case. But you would like to think that they kind of get up off the floor from an embarrassing loss to Penn State and handle Iowa here.
You'd hope.
So I'll side with them no matter the number. That's my 2 cents. What do you guys think?
I saw a way too early prediction for the Big Ten seeding. And it had this as the second round matchup, both getting a bye, and this being a second round matchup inside the Big Ten tournament. Yeah, I don't know how the Big Ten tournament works because it had both of these teams getting a bye, a couple other teams both getting a bye, and then
it's because
there's 2 byes.
It's because there's so many teams. They do it kind of like the NCAA tournament, like the play-in tournament of the shit, and then it goes to the full bracket, because there's too many teams to do a 1 seed versus a whatever seed. So they kind of do a shitty filler, and then the bracket expands to the true first round, of full tournament play.
Gotcha.
So that's why Iowa would have a bye in that situation. But yeah, I think it'll be a good game.
Yeah, I don't think Iowa wins that one anywhere close. I don't see Iowa winning this one either. I don't think this is going to be close. The spread should be interesting. I'd be surprised with it being a conference game if it's double digits, but I mean, I guess you never know.
Yeah,
Iowa wasn't favored against Michigan State the other night. We were a 1 point favorite against Wisconsin and won that one outright.
Iowa's beaten tough teams. They've beaten tournament teams. It's not going to be unfathomable if they do
in
it.
Champaign, though.
Yeah, it's going to be a little tougher.
Yeah, I don't see it. I mean, give me Illinois on the points, not knowing what the points are. I don't think it'll be double digits. I'd be kind of surprised. I mean, they were a 15
It'll probably be at 8.
They were a 15-point favorite to Michigan. Illinois was, and Michigan's one of the worst teams in the conference this year. They were 15 points to Indiana, who's also one of the worst teams in the conference this year. Rutgers, who's a little closer to Iowa, they were an 11-point favorite at home. I bet you this is right at that 8.5, 9.5 number, and I'll take Illinois at that.
Right there with you.
We moved to a much more interesting game in the sense of number 2 Houston going into number 11 Baylor. Houston again in that
goddamn good game.
Houston again in that top 16 committee ranking. The number 3 overall seed, the number 1 seed in the South region. Baylor, the number 10 overall team in that ranking, and they will be going. So the 10 gets you a 3 seed. So
right now it's 2 and 11.
2 and 11.
Top 25.
Okay, gotcha. So, but just off this ranking, it's number 3 in the committee rankings that came out.
I'm looking at ESPN. That's why.
Gotcha. This is the committee rankings from the 16th, which again, it's been a week, But anyway, where the committee had them at as of a week ago, Houston, the 3 overall seed, Baylor, the 10 overall seed. So Baylor is a 3 seed, Houston's a 1 seed. Crazy matchup. Baylor getting this one at home is big. Did they play earlier this year?
They haven't played since 2021. We just looked.
Gotcha. So it's going to be interesting to see these two teams match up. Houston is a bitch to plan for. They don't foul. They play lockdown defense. You have to fight and scrap against this team. They are on the edge of the trapezoid of excellence on the lower side. That is something we talked about last week. But Baylor has the edge here being at home. You're not supposed to lose tough games. I think this line is going to be tight. I think Houston will be favored. But if it's by more than 3.5, I'm going to lean Baylor's way. Baylor coming off of a upsetting loss to number 25 BYU. Again, that was on the road. They lost by 7 there. But just recently looking at Baylor's resume, Baylor at the beginning of February, they beat Iowa State by 2 at home. They beat Texas Tech 3 days later at home by 6. They go on the road 4 days after that and lose to Kansas, but only by 3. And then since then, they've beat Oklahoma, West Virginia, and like I said, lost to BYU. Houston, on the other hand, Monday night, coming off of a good win against Iowa State. That's a quality win at home by, what was the number there?
8.
So a good win there. They've handled Texas. They snuck one out on the road against Cincinnati, which was a little bit surprising. But Houston goes and loses by 13 to Kansas. Baylor, like I just said, loses by 3 just a few days later. Maybe that's Kansas coming off of like a high because of just beating Houston and then having to face Iowa State. You never know. If it's more than 3.5, give me Baylor here just because I like the home team in these situations. But I think I want to say Houston wins this one in a potential 1 versus 3 seed matchup. What are you guys leaning here?
This is hard. I said last week I'm not a fan of this Houston team, especially as we get closer to this tournament. This defense, it's just going to get ran out of the gym eventually. I don't know much about Baylor's offensive numbers and what they like and their tendencies. Houston, though, they've put together 2 really impressive wins in a row. Baylor coming off a bad loss. Maybe Baylor comes and smacks in the mouth, but I'm going to take. I think this is going to be close enough. It won't be too outlandish to say Houston money line here. I don't know if I would be allowed to.
You're not going to get value in it.
Houston money line.
Yeah,
I think. I mean, it'll be short odds, either short favorites or short
dude,
dogs.
if there's dogs, I would hammer it.
Yeah, I would actually see this being a great line to take that money line. Scary though if you're putting them in a parlay because they are on the road, but
would not parlay it. Couldn't pay me to parlay it. Cole, you got any thoughts?
So the last time that they played each other was what, 21, when Baylor was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, they had that big dude.
Nah, Baylor's been crazy for a while, is all I'm gonna say. But so is Houston. So
a lot of big dudes in basketball.
I think Houston's gonna take care of business. They're a better team overall. I agree with you, Josh, 100% that their defense is fucking shaky at best. But I think offensively, they're a better team. Personally, like if you're taking points, Cryer's points is like 15 usually, and he averages 15. So if it's lower than 15, fucking hammer it.
Gotcha. Let's move into our next one here. That's going to be South Carolina going into Ole Miss. South Carolina kind of reeling, similar to, Josh's Air Force team. When Josh starts riding a team hard.
No, the Air Force didn't fumble this hard when I started riding. It took them a little bit to fumble. South Carolina heard I was riding, and they fumbled immediately. I was watching. I had that game on in the background, bro. They were covering the 6.5, or I guess here it says the spread was 8, but I saw 6.5 on the book I used. They were covering that up until like 3 minutes to go, and they end up losing by 1.
So let's
take it back. You just beat Kentucky.
Let's take it back just a little bit farther. Okay. Ole Miss, South Carolina. They played in South Carolina February 6th. South Carolina wins by 3. Now they have to go into Oxford and get a win here on the road. You're only winning by 3 at home. That's terrifying. South Carolina wins at home against Ole Miss. They beat Vanderbilt because anybody could. The Helen Keller School of the Deaf and the Blind could beat Vanderbilt. Then they go and get their.
It's not a real school.
Okay, how about the Amelia Earhart School of Aviation?
They've underplayed.
The South Carolina team then heads into Auburn and loses by 40. And then they lose to LSU at home by 1, like Josh just said. This team is reeling and needs a win. 40 at Auburn, people were like, it's Auburn at home. Shit happens, but 40 was embarrassing. We talked about
looking like the same old cocks, man.
Losing to LSU on your home floor,
you sure like to talk about
not good. And then having to go in and face the Rebs on their home court is not going to be easy. I will be siding with the Rebs here. Give me Ole Miss with the points or money line, depending on what it looks like. I think South Carolina drops 3 in a row.
The Rebs also just got their mouth smacked in the basketball Egg Bowl. They lost by 12 to Mississippi State yesterday on Wednesday. Smacked.
Granted, I was on the road. It was on the road.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm off South Carolina until they right. I mean, you just got into the conversation of maybe getting into the tournament, and then you're gonna come out and lose 2 straight, losing 1 by 40.
They were a top 25 team. They're gonna be in the tournament regardless.
No, fuck them.
But they are kind of fucking up their seeding. I will give you that, but they will be in the tournament.
Both these teams are on abysmal 3-game runs. Somebody's got to get right. I mean, Ole Miss, they're on an abysmal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 game run. They're 1-4 in the last 5.
Is it time to wave? Is it time to wave the white flag and just say "betters beware"? Kick your feet up and just watch this one.
Dude, it feels like it.
I wouldn't touch it with my money.
Fuck yeah, I definitely wouldn't either.
All right, it sounds like
move on.
Sounds like the Tavern Sports boys are waving the white flag.
We're
here.
scared.
Before we do though, Josh, your Cox do not have a great run to end the season. On the road to Ole Miss, on the road to Texas A&M, have Florida at home, have Tennessee at home, and then they got to go face Mississippi State to end the season. This is a rough little stretch they could potentially find themselves in.
Prove it, boys. Show you want it.
But let's move on.
Games that are tough. Yes, here we go.
Maybe they might have to win the SEC tournament to get in. Who knows? maybe
Bama
and Auburn rest their squads. Who knows?
Unless they go completely defeated the rest of the season, South Carolina will be there.
Fuck, they're working on it, buddy. They are working on it.
Colt, bring it in because I know you just went 6 to midnight seeing this on the lineup. Bring us into this one, buddy.
Dude, I'm terrified when I look at this next game. North Carolina, I think they're at Virginia. It's a 4:00 game. Virginia's 20-7. North Carolina is 20-6. This Virginia is always and will always be fucking North Carolina's soft spot on the back of their fucking skull that they poke at all day. They're giving these boys fucking brain damage about how they fuck them in half the games that they play. The past 10, Virginia is 7-3. We've seen some damn good fucking UNC teams. I don't know, bro.
I will put it out there as this, okay? We just talked about going back a few games. Virginia also on a abysmal run. When you think of Virginia Cavalier basketball, you think of defense. The 2019 team that won the national championship, they're smacking the floor. It's a defensive team. This team cannot play offense. We talked about going into Houston and facing Houston is hard because of the slow pace. They wear you out. They grind you down.
I'm guessing you saw their point totals for the last 2 games.
This Virginia team,
what is this? What is this one against Wake Forest?
This Virginia team is abysmal offensively this year, Cole, where North Carolina is an electric factory. It's going to be tough. You're not going to score your highest totals of the year here, but North Carolina should not even sneak this game out. You should whoop this ass right now. Virginia loses to Pitt at home February 13th, 74-63. Virginia beats Wake Forest. No, beats Wake Forest.
Hang on.
49.
Time out. When do you think the last time a fucking Power 5 basketball game or a Group of 6 basketball game went under 100? Because that's what happened there.
Every time with Virginia, it's not that like Virginia just does not put up points and they don't let you score either. They're sweltering on defense. Josh, can you pull up KenPom rankings and find their adjusted defensive efficiency? Just look up the KenPom top 25 or KenPom rankings. It'll say adjusted efficiency for defense while I finish this. So, Cole, Virginia beats Wake Forest by 2 at home, and then they lose on the road to Virginia Tech by 34. Just Monday, they lost by 34. Is Virginia going to get up for North Carolina? Yes, they are.
Yes.
But you guys should mop the floor with these bozos. They cannot score to save their lives. They're ninth in defensive efficiency adjusted. Got it. They are crazy.
94.6.
They are crazy. So their highest point total this year, Cole, though, is like 84 to Syracuse. But this team lives in the 60s. Like, if this is a race to 60. If North Carolina puts up 60, You guys probably win this game by 14.
But here's the thing: UNC plays down to whoever they're fucking playing. Kentucky does it too. They consistently will play down to the level that they're playing because they're all super fucking ego led. UNC's an ego led team. I'm not afraid to say that.
I get what you're saying. I understand that. But in this defense is going to be tough. It's going to be frustrating. The pace is going to be abysmal to fucking watch. But, like, they have to make it work here. They have to.
Virginia beat Clemson earlier at the year at Clemson. We lost to Clemson at home by 4.
That's that defense, baby.
Yeah, I mean, their defense can get anybody on any given day, but I think the boys are going to be ready for this one. I will take North Carolina. I don't think the spread will be ridiculous, but I do think you might have to lay a little juice here. If North Carolina goes down, I'm not going to call it like flash the sirens, massive upset alert, but especially because it's in Virginia, but you guys should run away with this one.
Should.
In the latest Joe Lunardi bracketology, this is a 2 seed versus a 9 seed matchup here. Virginia, the 9 seed, obviously. North Carolina at the 2 seed.
So if UNC sneaks into a 1 seed, this could be a second round matchup. Realistically, if UNC finds their way into a 1 seed somehow at this late point in the season.
I mean, it depends on how seeding goes and yada yada, locations, blah blah blah. But as of right now, they have North Carolina playing in the East, which is going to be their first round in Charlotte. So, yeah.
Hey, Cole, can I come visit?
He's in Charleston.
Dude, it's like an hour drive.
I'm 2.5 hours.
A lot closer than I am.
Yeah. Anyway, I will be taking North Carolina here just strictly off of Virginia being in the dumps right now and playing their way out of the fucking tournament. But that's my opinion. Where do you guys lie here?
North Carolina's going to – I don't even know if they're going to cover. I think it's going to be a fucking 2-point game. That's how I don't have confidence in this team. That's the thing that worries me. Going into the tournament, at least they blow at the end, man. They blow.
If somehow Virginia is favored here, I don't want them. But if they're a dog by more than 4, I want them. Like if the line's 4.5, I want Virginia here.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is a hill that I'm willing to put a flag in and die on.
That's fair.
Sure.
That's fair. All right. We have number 13, Alabama. This is AP rankings. Number 13, Alabama, going into unranked Kentucky. How do you boys feel here?
They're unranked?
That is
can't be true.
According to what the boss man has here.
17th.
17. All right, boss man.
17.
I was like, dude, what?
Boss man let us down a little.
I know they
bit
lost to LSU last night, but
all right,
yeah, Air Force also
terrible
plays. Also, Air Force also plays New Mexico at 4:00 on Saturday. Just so you guys know,
it's gonna be a good one. New Mexico.
Me and Tyler are both like, fuck off.
it just came up when I was looking for the Alabama game. I thought I'd let you guys know.
What do you guys think here? I personally, in SEC games, will always favor the home team. Again, like we just said, 13 versus 17. I think it's going to be a close one. Kentucky coming off of a bad loss. How's Alabama been recently? What are they up to? Does anybody?
They're
Alabama
8-2 last 10. Notable losses: 20 or the only 2 losses: 20 points to Tennessee a month ago, and of course, the 18-point loss to Auburn earlier this month, both on the road. At home, they just got a 5-point dub against Florida, 25 against A&M,
Gotcha.
32 against Mississippi State. And we were just talking about that Mississippi State team a little bit ago. 21 against LSU. So they're pretty good at home.
Gotcha. My initial thoughts here, like I said, SEC teams at home, I just always lean towards them. Kentucky, yes, they just had a terrible loss to LSU, but right before that, they went on the road to beat Auburn. I believe Auburn's first home loss of the season.
That's
and they
a big win, 21 points or 11 points.
An 11
Whoa.
An 11-point win. Kentucky had an 11
I
point
thought you were
road
talking about
win.
Bama. I was like,
no, sir. So I will be taking Kentucky at home here. I do think this line will be a tight one. Kentucky, you've gone through some changes. But this is the time to show like we're still Kentucky here. Get a home win here. You need it. So I will leave Kentucky here.
Tyler, I'm with you on this before Cole can get in here. Kentucky's been good lately. They 1-point loss against LSU on the road earlier this week. That's rough. That sucks.
That was last night.
Yeah. Shake it off. Get a good win. It's a chance to jump Bama in the ranking. Let's
they won't.
Real quick, look at the conference standings. It would do a lot to help them in the conference standings as well. I mean, Alabama's the top of the conference right now with 11-2 conference record. Kentucky's been getting beat up in conference, 8-5 this year in conference. I mean, this would pull them even with Auburn and South Carolina. It would bring Alabama down even with Tennessee. I think for conference tournament seeding and just as a resume builder, you need this win. Cole, where you at, buddy?
No, Kentucky's fucking pissed. Give me Kentucky. They lost to an unranked LSU in overtime by a fucking tip-in that should not, in my opinion, should not have counted. I thought he was real close on that one.
Little team ride. Little live update. Iowa's down 11 at halftime to Indiana.
You're joking.
No, 33-44. They're getting Caitlin is getting shellacked, dude.
Oh, Iowa women's?
Yeah, 33-44.
Damn. All right, boys, we have a lot of games still to get through here. Let's do some of the notable ones here. I know we have
do a little rapid fire.
Yeah, just a little rapid fire. We have Texas going into Kansas. Texas not as big of a powerhouse as they have been. I will be taking Kansas here at home.
Riding.
Yeah, I think the line on this one will be a little bit bigger too.
Horns fucking down.
This is Kansas at home.
Kansas at home.
Number 9,
bro.
Kansas
That's pretty rough for old Texas, huh? Horns down.
Horns fucking.
I mean, just while we're talking about it, real quick. Kansas coming off of a loss, they beat Oklahoma by 10. Before that, though, they lose by 29 to Texas Tech on the road.
And a little bit of a flashback. We were all on Kansas in that game last week.
Yeah.
We really liked Kansas last week on the podcast in that game, and we looked like dumb fucks.
Yeah, I mean, Josh, that game was Monday. I think shit. Never mind. Kansas hasn't played a lot recently. Anyway, go ahead, give me Kansas here. No, yeah, never mind. I'm all sorts of fucked up. We said we were rapid firing. Give me Kansas. Number 14 at Georgia. Yes, you're on the road. I said I usually lean towards the home team in SEC matchups. I trust Auburn on the road here against Georgia. Give me Auburn. Again, if it's too many points, probably not. Could be a good look. I feel like they're safe from the upset this weekend. They could be a good heavy favorites moneyline parlay piece, in my opinion.
Yeah, I love Auburn here. Georgia's 3-7 last 10. I mean, they got a win against Vandy earlier this week. Whoop-de-fucking-do, good for you. But, I mean, Florida, they lost to Florida, lost to Arkansas, lost to Mississippi State, lost to South Carolina, lost to Bama, lost to Florida again. Get out of here. It ain't football season. Go home.
Welcome.
Going to last game, we have Tennessee is playing host to Texas A&M. Tennessee, their last few, coming off a loss to Missouri on Tuesday, beat the shit out of Vandy, beat the shit out of Arkansas, lost to Texas A&M on the road on the 10th. So we are what?
By what? 16?
Yes, 2 weeks removed from a 16-point L. I don't
in which
think
they were favored. They were a 2-point
Yes.
favorite in that game.
Yes. I don't think it's going to be a fucking 20-point swing. I think this will be a closer game spread-wise just because of that ass beating that happened in Texas A&M. But I will be taking Tennessee here at home. Tennessee, like we
Tennessee's a
talked
little
about,
shaky though.
Tennessee has a gauntlet to run through to end the season here, boys. Tennessee hosts Auburn, goes to Bama, goes to South Carolina, hosts Kentucky to end the season. Tennessee has to run the gauntlet here at the end of the season. Could be a little bit of a letdown spot here to Texas A&M if they're caught looking ahead to Wednesday hosting Auburn.
Well, here's the thing with A&M. They are on a slide. 25-point loss to Bama, 7-point loss to Arkansas earlier this week, and they lost by 1 to Vandy the day before Valentine's Day. Their last win was against this Tennessee team a couple weeks ago. I think they look to that, use it as get right fuel. A&M money line for sure. Who knows what the spread's going to be?
All right. Cole, you with us there, Tennessee here? Gotcha.
It's us. I'm not with you guys. I'm on A&M.
Oh, sorry. My bad, Pimp. This episode of Show Me the Money is brought to you by Tavern Sports, your place to get fun sports content, sportsbook line, and parlays, and of course, food reviews with Big E's Ballpark Bites. You can follow Tavern Sports on Instagram at Tavern Sports 2023, TikTok at Tavern.sports, and Twitter at Tavern Sports 23. One last little jump back into college basketball, guys. We will be planning on doing a Selection Sunday podcast, filling out brackets, talking about matchups. That is March 17th. The boys will be doing that. We also plan on opening up a Tavern Sports bracket. Look for us on those social media sites there to join in on those. Let's get into just a very little bit of NHL talk. Stanley Cup odds right now, the Oilers are the favorite at plus 700. When we first started hockey for the season, I mentioned the Oilers. We're off to an abysmal start. They are red hot. Other notable favorites towards the top here, the Bruins at plus 750, the Avalanche at plus 750, and the Hurricanes plus 1,000. The defending champs plus 1,300. I'm just going to go out and say, guys, I personally think the Avalanche at plus 750 is great odds. Same for the Bruins. Swayman's been a beast in net. As far as the Oilers go right now, parlaying Connor McDavid goal scorer and Oilers money line right now might be one of the best bets in all of hockey. They are just that red hot and that electric. Dark horses, the Canucks potentially. Thatcher Demko in net. He has to just stay hot. The boys are young around him, but anything can really happen here in hockey. It's a little too early still to be talking about who could go and who won't go. We'll see how health-wise plays out and keep coming back to this. But
Tyler, don't the Pins have 2 goalies that are just standing on their heads right now, or am I got the wrong team? I know there's a team out there with 2 goalies that are absolutely lights out.
The Bruins.
Okay, yeah, I had the color scheme.
The Bruins have Linus Ullmark, who in the past has been dominant and shut down, and he's actually been replaced by the former backup Swayman, who's one of the top 3 goalies in all of hockey this year. So, I mean, great situation to have. You never know when playoff time comes. When the Blues won their Stanley Cup run, it was with the backup. Bennington came in and he was the hot hand for the playoffs. So if you let Swayman ride and the pressure is too much for him, which I don't think it will be, you have an experienced vet in Linus Ullmark behind him who can step in there. The Oilers, their goalie play is pretty good. They have a couple decent guys, but again, they're more of like that offensive juggernaut. The Avalanche have Gregoriev that they just have been riding to success. And the Hurricanes, why I don't like them at plus 1,000 right now is they're shaky on the road. And when they're at home in front of 20,000 screaming caniacs, they are lights out, but not every home game or not every playoff game is a home game. So I do worry about them in that sense there. Just quick rookie of the year odds, Bedard minus
Bedard.
500 for the Blackhawks. There's been a lot of talk on social media that the Blackhawks shouldn't have picked him number 1 overall and traded for a package to like do a complete rebuild. One player can turn a franchise around and then you build around him and for the future. As you can see, the Blackhawks are still one of the worst teams in the league. They will still have a high draft pick to build around him this year with some more young talent or trade it and get some experienced guys around him.
Hey, all I'm saying is Bedard and Fields in Chicago for the next decade be pretty cool.
Well, the thing is, I think Bedard might have PTSD of the Blackhawks bringing in experienced vets, as they do seem to fuck his mom frequently, or at least that's the rumor.
Is it up to another one or just one?
Allegedly.
Bedard, like we said, though, in Rookie of the Year is minus 500. The next closest odds are plus 400. I mean, it's not even worth it unless you're parlaying it with like a Coach of the Year or MVP or something, because I won't sit here and tell anybody bet a minus 500. You never know what happens. He fractured his jaw. He's wearing a fishbowl right now.
Fishbowl Bedard is still on fire.
Fishbowl Bedard is talking shit to goalies after he scores, and the goalie is pointing up at the scoreboard because his goal was irrelevant. Like, I like the charisma, I like the pizzazz from the kid, but like, gotta have some higher game sense here. If you're down by 3 and you put one in on the goalie, you probably shouldn't stand over him and, you know, celebrate right there. Head to the corner, go walk your bench, and
dude,
tap
talk
up
your
the boys.
shit. You're a fucking 18 years old, just saucing up the best players in the league.
Yes, I get that, but as far as like game sense goes, show that pizzazz when you are winning. When you're losing, kind of might have to eat a bite of humble pie, you know?
I am going to say I do think drafting Bedard has set us back years.
You can say that. You have the next generational talent, or what's thought to be the next generational talent in the future. While this guy's still cheap, you pay people to come in and play around him, but the team just needs a lot of work. One guy can't change the entire. He can change the outlook of the franchise, but he can't change the production of it currently. That is, again, why they're still a bottom feeder right now. He can't go out there and score 7 goals a night, okay? He's not putting up Gretzky numbers. It is what it
didn't
is.
do it alone.
Exactly.
Did not do it alone.
Exactly.
Neither did Crosby, you know?
Exactly. But let's move on. But before we do, hey there, sports fans. Are you tired of the same old boring shirts? Are you pissed off at Fanatics for their piss-poor baseball jerseys? Well, we've got something exciting for you. Introducing the Tavern Sports Pocket Tee, where style meets passion for the game. Whether you're a diehard fan or just love the camaraderie of sports, Tavern Sports got you covered, literally. The best part, because you're listening to the show, to show me the money, you can use code $$$$$$ to get 15% off the day. $$$$$. So what are you waiting for? Head over to tavernsports.square.site right now and elevate your game day experience. Tavern Sports, beer, betting, sports.
It's in the game.
Cocaine. Lock of the week, boys. Locks of the week.
We didn't talk.
I was going to say, we didn't talk about that.
No. Did you guys talk about college football last week?
Why the fuck would we talk about college football?
The video game.
College football came out. The news came out this week, Cole, but before or after the last show.
Oh, okay.
NCAA 2025, all the boys getting $600 and a copy of the game if they let them use their right, which is better than a kick in the pants. Anybody should just be grateful and take it, whatever. I will see you boys in dynasty mode. Me and Army are going to be national champions, and we will run the triple option.
Me and Air Force are coming for your ass.
You can't bullshit. You can't sit here and tell me you're taking a formerly last year a top 25 team for a majority of the year.
Fine. Fine. You know what? I'll take Akron. I'll do it on Akron.
That's right. That's the way to go.
No, fuck that. I'm taking North Alabama.
Speaking of North Alabama, FCS schools are going to be A few of the bigger named FCS schools will be in the game right away. Some of the lower ones that are still coming on will be rolled in with updates, but that is something cool.
Same with
Yeah.
HBCUs. I'll be
That'll be
using
cool.
Alabama A&M as well. I'll have dual dynasties going.
I'm gonna turn FAMU into the fucking powerhouse dynasty.
Dude, I'm taking Iowa to back.
I've got some.
But you
I've
can't
got
play
some-
offense. You have to punt every drive.
Punt, only punting.
I will play Purdue in a mascots game, and I will beat them 100-0, just for the damage they've caused me over the years. But let's get into the locks of the week. Last week, I gave out my first loser of the week, taking a long shot in Tyrese Halliburton to win 3-point contest.
Yeah, we didn't recap. Do you guys know any of the other boys? Cole, did you hit? Did you ever give one?
Cole did not give a lock last week.
We went over mine. It didn't hit.
So I did not hit for the first time. I'm 5-1-1 now, still the leader. Cole, you weren't here last week. Would you like to dive in on something for us?
Give me the Phoenix Suns against the Rockets -3.5 on Friday night.
I like that.
3.5 is hot against the Rockets.
I'll take Auburn at Georgia, buy it as low as I can, because I think it's going to be a pretty big spread.
Gotcha. I'm not going to be scared. I'm going to take a line that is already out and available, and we would never talk about it. And that will be tomorrow night in the hellscape that is college basketball. Sucks to do it. I hate doing it. I don't like dragging you boys into the weeds. I will be taking Quinnipiac -130 on the money line tomorrow night at 8 p.m. against Fairfield.
Disgusting.
Quinnipiac 18-6 on the money line, 15-9 to the spread. Fairfield 15-10, 12-13 on the spread. Quinnipiac -2.5 looks nice. I'll take them on the money line. Give me Quinnipiac money line -130.
Something to be on the lookout when the lines do come out for Saturday. So tomorrow, about noonish, look for home favorites that are between 5.5 and 9.5 point favorites. And if you can find 4 to 6 of them that you like, parlay them on the money line. The reason I tell you to do this is because Ken Palm has teams that are home favorites favored by 5.5 or to 9.5, anywhere in that range, at a 70% win rate. So I saw this on TikTok. They're up 220 units in the last month and a half.
Ken Palm is?
No, the TikTok they cited Ken Palm as the source for the statistics of a 70% win rate, but these people that are doing this are up 220 units in the last month and a half or 2 months.
Gotcha. All right, boys. Well, we don't have blocks for the other guys. We'll try to throw them out on the social media. Try to get a full barn here coming up soon, at least for Selection Sunday, bare minimum. But we've given you the picks. It is time for you to show me the money.
Show me the money.
Show it to me, Daddy.